Eh bien, bonjour, beautiful lounger. Here is Fredo Lounge again, once again, in this realm of existence and this density on this planet that we call Earth. I would like to introduce you with my very big buddy here. I met this tree, un saule pleureur, excuse me, but in English I don't know exactly what is a saule pleureur, so let's Franglish a little bit here. So I met this beautiful tree actually back when I was 14 years old, after some tour of the sun, and I come often here in the last 20-30 some years to help me meditate. I even have like a nice bench sometimes. His roots, I'm always asking him or her, we don't know the sex of this tree, if I could touch it, if I could sit down, claim it here sometimes. I used to read books here with my bicycle there. So we're on the Canal La Chine in Montreal, in the borough of La Salle. And it's a very beautiful space, as you can see. It's one of my favorite spots on the Canal La Chine, with at least 3, 4, 5 of these souls. And I remember back in the day, they were going straight up to Saint-Pierre Exchange. Now there's only a few of them here on this verge of the canal, that it's actually not even cemented. It's like so you see. All right, so I wanted you to meet this great friend of me that I'm often in his arms. He comforts me. He told me things sometimes. So it was probably in my journey, because it's not a path, it's a journey, it's a vision that I had back in the day in Val-David, Laurentian. And this body accepts my cries, my anger, my shadows, my stuff. Sometimes I even come here and call some people, and sitting right there in this soul, and I've got a conversation over the phone, since those things exist. I remember right here that I kiss lots of girls and even a boy. So it's kind of a telluric point of energy here for me. So for all my loungers that are listening it right now, I will start in English to do this awakening within the dream video, because I tried several times in French at Punta Nizuc in Mexico last week, just before I depart and I came back here. And it was especially, I don't know why, harder to spell it out in French. And my meditation of the last couple of days bring me more ease in doing it in English. So for those who are not bilingual or don't speak French, I won't apologize, because I cannot be sorry. And I will try to maybe end this video with some French inside, or if I feel at ease and comfortable to share this deep thought of body and mind connected to the great soul, some more in French, I'll do it. And now I won't apologize either for the Anglophone that is subscribed to my channel and that follow me. For those on a specific mailing list that I received the 1 out of 3, that you're gonna receive this one as 2 out of 3. So the shadow hunting itself will be later, because to do a shadow hunting experience, you have to have some grief that you'd like to spill out. Right now, I feel a bit more into sadness. If you look into my eyes, I've been back in Montreal since Saturday night, and I won't lie to you, I keep crying. Of course, for privacy and security reason, I won't tell on that video. For those who I'll meet face to face in person, you'll know the backstory of why I'm feeling so sad and have some headaches and stuff. It's because I did an experience in Mexico with some friends and with some other trees. I won't say that much. And now, sorry about that. I usually don't beat them, but there was a nasty nasty flight on my end. I didn't like it, so especially now I'd like to spill out some things with my buddy here. I call it, or him, or he, or she, soul for the soul pleureur, S-A-U-L-T, and I give a kind of a last name is S-O W for Southwest and multiple language. Sud-Ouest, S-O-W, Southwest, because we are in the deep Southwest, and that's really curious because in this dimension I really feel good when I'm that quadrant of Southwest and even Northwest, so the west side for sure. East, no thank you for me. The east of the planet, the east of whatever, even if I love Asian girl, that is according to the mainstream basic geography, there are east, Orient and stuff, but at some point, you know, if you go in Vancouver, they are west of you. So anyway, so we won't go into too much detail. It's already been 5 minutes and I'm not even on the topic of the subject, and as you know, I just improvise and I let it go. So I was like very curious, especially yesterday. I wanted to go out with some friends, have dinner for a kind of a mini Virgo party, because we're all Virgo and astrological sign, the zodiac signs, and I said, like, why not having a supper at this long weekend and stuff. I'm still on vacation this week of September 3rd, and finally an headache that I had like since I woke up, like continue. I was full of sadness, I was crying, I was wondering and stuff, so I started meditating. I started reading some old books for reference, and I saw something clearly in my mind connected to my, what I call ultra soul, that helped me transcend into the multiple dimension of times and space. And I saw myself, and around 16 years old, towards my 17 in 1991, summer of 1991. I was straight on the Rue Frontenac in Hochelaga, for those who know Montreal, wandering into a balcony with a guy who had put some signs about the falsification of Jesus Christ and the falsification of the Christ energy and stuff like this. So I was literally within my meditation, and by the way, without any substance, just breathing and going there, because I felt when I was questioning my mind to connect to my ultra soul, she showed me that guy of myself back in 1991 at that corner in front of this balcony with those signs about the Christic energy, Jesus, and so on. And I saw this little boy and everything, and into the summer that he happened to him, like, because 3 things happened back then in 1991. I was, of course, 16 years old, so biologically and physically, I was into a transformation. This is for everybody. So the song, the Sweet 16 or 16 Candles, so for sure, like anybody, male or female, or whatever gender you'd like to be, you are experiencing, like between your 13 and your 16, 17, a big hormonal transformation. That is normal. So for sure, that one was, according to our density, this bodysuit that we do experience here on Earth, that was one factor. I was also going through what I used to call myself ma révolution idéologique, ideological revolution, because I was switching my mind on how should I approach life. I was leaving my mom, I was getting my first own apartment, going to cégep, to college, and having my first girlfriend, my first sexual experience. Everything changed in my mind as well. And the cherry on the top was also what started maybe in 1996 when I was 12, 13 years old, the growing of a sense of awakening. At that time, I didn't know it was that, but it was something that I was opening myself to a lot more possibilities, a lot more things, and I was already not believing in a straight couple, having children, being programmed by the systems. I was already quitting television back then. I should have never been much of a TV goer or so on. But I was like freeing myself from anything that was programming us, questioning everything, starting to awaken. Okay? So 1991 was a tipping point of those three things: the physical, with our hormones changing because our body is changing, the new ways of living without my mom, and soon with a girlfriend and so on, and also this spark of a couple of years ago that was going even more further. And so when I asked in my meditation early this week why I was so sad after such a beautiful and nice resting, chilling travel in my favorite place of Punta Nizuc in Mexico, that I feel very great, materially speaking. I don't need money, I don't need anything, and so on. And I've got two answers. I lack of true friendship and true relationship, and I also lack of this kind of pure love that could help us going through this experience. So I'll tell you frankly and transparently, I lack those things. And I think I put myself in very big mask. And I remember back that boy at the corner of Frontenac and Hochelaga looking at those kind of spiritual claims of the Christ energy and Jesus and the love of Son and the falsification and so on. That boy and that kind of nostalgia that I could have of my 16 years old, that I was in a kind of a why in my life. And I started there with one of my first relationship back then, kind of serious relationship with engagement and stuff. And I've been deceived because I programmed the deception myself with my beliefs. And this is when I start sucking out the energy of pure love. So even on my blog, freddelange.com, my famous thyselology, the 13 logy, this kind of writing that I just go also by writing about just a guy looking for in search of love and light. So that's the thing. I'm in search of something that I myself decide in my matrix to shut down back then. And I was reading back in some of my book on spirituality and awakening about the doppelgänger, or the or evil twin from different multiple dimension. And the answer about like, yes, I kind of cut off the possibility of true love while still searching and teaching even to some about the real thing, the difference between lust and love. And something happened, like this boy that lived exactly at the same moment, because you know space and time doesn't exist in the realm behind the matrix or behind this world. So we are always in a sort of simultaneous time and space and different dimension. So in my meditation I went back to see the boy, and even this morning when I woke up I was with my dolphin soldier and my love and my wolf guardian spirit. This is everything that my imagination, my illusion make it happen, but it's healing. And we were surrounded that boy and questioning him, and he was crying like crazy, and he was like being apological about this fact. So now I've got a disturbance in the force. I will not be able to continue this vlog. I will have to shut it down and come back because somebody doesn't respect my space. So see you soon. Alright, alors, comme je disais, as I was saying, so when we found that boys of 1991 on Frontenac and Hochelaga, we questioned him and he started crying himself. And so I could go through everything that some of my Navarro shaman and the Beniki shaman taught me about the multi-dimension. And next year I'm going to be in Peru at Pumapunku and Ararau in front of some doors to even enhance like the knowledge about this what we call the doorway, or when so me, I'm just doing it with my illusion through the Maya. The Maya, it's also the matrix, and often like just with breathing, no drugs, no nothing. I just go straight at it with meditation, and I'm able to at least be a witness of how to questions the others. So the doppelgänger, you could play the victim, you could play that your energy is sucked out from those other yourself and other dimension, time and space, and so on. And when I did go back and with the help of these dolphin kind of entity and this wolf guardian of me, that probably helped me going through within my meditation illusion between those realm of existence and time and space. And so I know for a fact, well, anyway, I feel it so deeply that everything we think, everything we imagine, it's happening right here, right now. It's just we don't see it because it's all range of frequency and vibration. So yes, that will be deep, my friend, because this is where your friend is, and I'm not mentally ill, and I could function in your fucking game because I play the game and I do the game myself. But what I realize is when I come back from some travel with some experience, sometimes I do have this kind of sadness, and sometimes, you know, when you feel a bit exhausted for nothing, a bit depressed for nothing. So you could try to find, oh, is it Archon, is it Lizard, is it like entity that's sucking my energy, blah blah blah. And more often I've found it's the doppelgänger. It's ourself and other dimension living at the same times. And if we are suffering, we sometimes go to the one who is in the most, probably the most like kind of right or base reality, because there's multiple matrix and there's a base reality. So having said that, because of this great trip in Mexico, because of this great experience that I made in the jungle again, it was probably in a kind of, my energy vibration was probably in the base reality. And sometimes my other self, who are mostly in the past or maybe lost into other dimension, they will try to connect with that base reality, and this is what happened. They suck the energy. So probably in the last 3 days when I meditate and I found the source of disturbance in my energy and here, and the mostly base dimension, base energy that I got, he bring me back to that guy. So we start questioning him like this morning before I left for my walk. And he started crying, and he asked for forgiveness, and that he didn't mean it, and he kind of knows, he was starting to know, and through my eyes right now, for him is the future, but for me is the present, is the continuous present. So he was actually, yes, he was actually apologized about this, and he didn't mean to suck down my energy, and we had kind of a ultra-dimensional conversation through my dolphin spirit and my wolf guardian. Then I should let him go, and I should start make some new choice. So that was very, very powerful. At some point we've been a bit too aggressive with that myself of 1991, but I understood that it's nice to have memories of, because we always see times as a line. But he still exists in 1991. The 16 years old myself still exists. He still tried to making some choice. He's more desperate than the myself of my timeline in terms of, because he's stuck there in this dimension, in his matrix. The thing is, I can't help him, but we can help us, see? And his message was, let it go. Let it go of this 27 years. Everything that's happening to you since the last 3 years of this timeline has that reason of, I am letting go of this past experience, and I try to envision myself into the future which is the present, and the upcoming thing that I will choose in my matrix and my game right now, until I could leave this body and make sure that I don't come back in this experience, that I go to other dimension to explore and experience instead. So that was a typical message. So now I feel happier today. I feel relief, the good prana, and so on. And thanks to Soul that is welcoming me once again after these years. He's the one also have my memories about all those things, and he's just telling me right now to let go too. So the process of letting go will be ciao brother in Lakesh. So that's yes, so we will definitely I think I get to that point in my meditation and reflection that forcefully, truthfully, it's just questions of choice, and everything we imagine, everything we think happen, not could happen, they happen. So as one of my physical mentors used to say, schedule it and do it. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do more and more often. And for those of you out there that seems not to be interested into that kind of conversation, I won't never ever force you to be around myself. I will instead make the choice of funding other body mind suit people that have that kind of perception. Maybe that travel and Peru, Bolivia next summer for the solstice, because I will be surrounded by a kind of like-minded people who'd like to know about the ancient world and this doorway to other dimension, and with the teaching of Brian Forster. So that's going to be probably also a way to meet some other and new reference. So I'm not telling to some of my buddies, oh, I won't talk to you anymore. But the thing is, your lack of friendship, your lack of qualité de présence, and your lack of conversation, your lack of exchange, of sharing, your lack of openness, or so ça me tente plus. And I will keep the rest for the shadow hunting video. Well, I will explain for the snowflake, and if you take it personal, including Frank, by the way, if you think so much of your ego, but so be it, because at some point, like, I don't think I have some myself. I have my grief. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I'm not here on a mission. I'm just here to touch and experience and be candid and be blissful and be completely contemplative of what this dimension has to offer. And my goal is just to leave it and make sure that this energy is not waste in this big grander universe, and so on. So that's it. Call me a fool, call me an aliéné mental, think that I have like issue of bipolarity. You're so good in judgment, huh? This is a preview of the shadow hunting, by the way, because I feel so much of your thought, and you pretend you be my friend. Could go fuck yourself, okay? Because I exactly sense the way you think about me, or maybe it's the law of projection, and I'm just projecting what I believe that you think of me. But the thing is, as you shut your fucking mouth, you never express yourself, you're never frank, you're never transparent. So how the fuck I know? And even when I question you, yeah, you kind of not answering, you try to be polite and so on. So that will be for the 3 of 3 on shadow on things, and those who won't survive that fucking scream of shadow on things, showing you my imperfection and showing you my fears and showing you my kind of guilt that I still have. But so be it, and I will continue my journey, my vision, without you in that vision, imagination, illusion, Maya matrix. In Lakesh, Alakin.